Hey, shitheads! Welcome to Cyborg New Gods. I'm your game master, Dale, and I'm gonna be taking you dreckheads, you gutter punks, on a trip through the worst city in the world. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to do some good in this shithole. This is a Cyborg actual play podcast using the Cyborg OSR rules, available on DriveThruRPG or from Free League Publishing. Let's get right into it. Punks. Being smart for a change. It's not like you. Usually you run straight into danger, and I've got bets with the other game masters on just how long you'd survive this little ordeal, and you've gone and ruined it by choosing to hunker down for the night. Can't blame ya when you've got Alliansen's kill teams on your ass. Hunkering down, stocking up on supplies, and licking your wounds is probably the safest option. Sure, that Alliansen data crypt in North Central, where Johnson is hiding out, waiting for all this to blow over. We'll get some beefed up security. We'll have a chance to prepare for your arrival, but you'll be prepared as well. And hopefully that's going to make sure that the element of surprise is something you don't miss. And yes, as Paradox said, we have 2 debt collections today, as I rolled the reputation check as usual, D20, add your level. Usually, a debt collection is triggered on 16 or higher. At level 5, you have almost exactly a 50% chance. You're at level 4 right now, so slightly less than that. 45% chance. We rolled a nat 20, which I'm going to say triggers 2 debt collections. So that'll be fun to look out for. Good thing you chose to prepare. So, everyone may go ahead and roll 1d6 and recover that many hit points. You may also go ahead and roll your glitch die to recover glitches. And you may make any purchases that you think you'll need as you spend the night reaching out to your contacts, digging up whatever favors you're owed and pulling strings to try and scrounge up a few supplies on the black market at short notice. I will, however, ask you all to each spend 10 credits as you figure. Yes, correct. Alt 30% for ammo. You each figure that hunkering down in your usual places of residence wouldn't be a good idea. No doubt Alliansen has those places on record, and so you elect to spend the night in a coffin hotel down in Barnyard Fields. One that's a bit less analog than the old Hammer horror inspired nightmare that Johnson was staying at. And you rent out an entire row of coffin suites, ensuring that you have the whole wing of the hotel to yourselves. And you spend most of the night cowering inside your little coffin compartments, blankets wrapped around you, guns at the ready, just in case. but somehow you make it through the night. You manage even to catch a few winks of sleep. And now, we find you all a few hours later. The stolen taxi that's become Jonathan's regular mode of transport winds its way through the ports, making slow progress through the brothels, nightclubs, and dive bars that are all shuttered, sleepy, and quiet in the early morning. And as you plan your next move, Vera Coilings sits in frame in the middle of your REDs, furiously typing, smashing commands into her cyber deck, occasionally looking up, nodding as she listens to your proposals. So, she says, examining some holographic image of a high-rise building floating between her and the cyber deck, her face illuminated by pale electronic light. So, Alliansen data crypt. This is where Johnson's hiding out. Now, the way I see it, you've got 3 objectives. You've got to take out Johnson. You need to get that data chip that you originally took from Jinghai Sloan. Bring it back so the collective can finally work out what's going on with Project New Gods. And while you're there, I'm gonna need you to open a back door inside Alliansen's servers. See, I'm trying to make sure all of our names and all evidence of our involvement is cleared out, get these kill teams off our asses. But the data crypt is not connected to the citywide net. Local network only. Which means if I'm gonna have any hope of scrubbing our existence from their servers, I'm gonna need someone on site opening a back door so I can get in. Ghost, you know what to do. Got some intel for you. The data crypt is officially a black site. Yeah, it's in North Central. It's wedged in right there with your corporate high-risers, your investment firms, and your big banks. But there's surprisingly little info about it. No blueprints. You'll have to work with that when you get in. All I've managed to find is a proposal from Alliansen's management going back several years. Now, this data crypt is equipped to handle up to 500 femtobytes of data. We're talking a massive server farm. We're talking 50, 60 servers, mainframes, all stored in there, all connected to the local network. And there's gonna need to be some local power source to keep all of those servers maintained. I've got several purchase records for industrial strength nuclear coolant being shipped to that address, so it's likely they've got a nuclear power core in there along with all the infrastructure to keep it up and running. So you gotta be careful. Your bullets hit the wrong thing, half of North Central is gonna go up in a nuclear explosion. You're gonna be creating a whole new ground zero. So,
Jesus Christ, what?
Gotta keep all those servers running somehow, and hey, I gotta admit, she says, it's a good deterrent for corporate espionage. Not many mercs are gonna be too keen on hitting a place like that. Which brings me to the question of the day. How are you planning to handle this?
Well, I imagine a lot more delicately now that we know that.
I'm thinking running guns off the table. Might have to do this ninja style. If only we knew what to expect inside, I would hazard a guess at some sort of automated defenses. Johnson is a fairly decent hacker, so we're probably talking drones, turrets, and at least one kill team on site just in case things get hairy. I've hacked into... Go ahead, John.
If they've got turrets and drones and all sorts of things flying around and they're ready to shoot us down, it seems like they're not too worried about shooting out the core themselves. Sure, they can't be that exposed.
Which means there's probably on-site protections. If you can find out why they're not too hesitant to fire, then maybe you can use those measures yourself. Look, I've hacked into the CCTV of the street there, a block away from the Nexus, and I'm picking up a single front entrance. Building's essentially a big block of concrete. It's a big eyesore. You got these postmodern glass towers on either side, and then a big concrete bunker. And I'm only seeing one entrance. The front entrance. Doesn't look like the lot itself is guarded. But I'd go in expecting some kind of surveillance. Even more if you want to scout around, try to find another entrance. But I think they've chosen this place knowing that if you want to go in and get them, there's only one way in. Well, I'm glad it's you guys who are the boots on the ground and not me. She smiles. Alright. I'm going dark until I see the back door open. Best we don't communicate until then, just in case someone's running a trace. Good luck. You fuck up, we're all dead. No pressure. Vera winks before she hits a button on her cyber deck and the feed disappears. Just well, as... Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the feed disappears just as the taxi merges into a line of barely progressing morning rush hour traffic, and you drive up the access ramp onto the bridge, crossing over Lake Gravel, the murky, polluted water barely moving underneath. And as the bridge begins to descend into Remembrance Plaza, opposite, your hearts sink. Alliansen branded SEC officers have set up an automated checkpoint, electronically scanning every vehicle that enters into North Central. Ahead of you, the procession of cars slowly moves down onto the street, each of them stopping in turn as an Alliansen SEC officer waves an electronic gizmo over the vehicle, bathing it in intense green light, then nodding waving them on.
Well, looks like you be up, Ghost. For the electronic part, anyways.
Yeah, I can do that, but I feel like this is gonna be a little more thorough than that.
Yeah, you'll probably be recognizing us. So, options? Suggestions?
Well, I mean, I
vehicle-wise-
can make you look like anything else to tech and people, but I don't know. You don't have any like ID.
Ah, that I don't have. So what
The
I'm gonna do is...
windows, I will
is,
say
uh,
the windows of the taxi are tinted. One of the selling points of ultra taxis is their privacy, allowing many a bent politician or corporate CEO to have his way with a secretary in the back seat without prying eyes noticing. So, if you were to just hunker down in the car, there's a chance you could get by. You just don't want to draw enough attention that someone would want to come up and check the vehicle.
So wait, is this Jonathan's taxi, or is this like one
This
we've
is-
rented?
No, this is your taxi.
Oh, okay. Alright, in that instance, do you think you could do that thing where you swap things around? Why don't you just swap the plates or whatever it is you do of this car with the one behind us? At least that way, once we get through, they'll be all tied up with somebody else and we can make a clean getaway.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can copy, if you want, you can use copy swappy to... Usually you use it to make you look like someone else, but with a slightly more difficult role, you could take it one step further and make someone else look like you.
Yeah, all
You can
right.
have
I mean,
the
that's
swappy part of copy swappy.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
that's real evil there.
Does Ghost care at this point?
Is everyone else okay with that?
With, with what, then? Sorry? Making another car look like us?
Yeah.
Hmm. Can you
Well,
make
let's
it be a
think.
Can it be a deserving car?
What cars are around?
You peer out the window, and about 2 car lengths behind you, there's a white van with an ACGS corporate logo stamped into its bodywork. Could be just a delivery driver, but there's still someone working for a corp.
What, do you assume they're just gonna find the tag of my car and just shoot us on sight? That'd at least take us in somewhere, right? What are you so worried about? They're not just going to execute somebody in the middle of the street.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not so sure about it, but better them than us, right?
I don't know about that, to be honest. I feel like Ghost could probably just hack the electronic signal and feed him some fake IDs, you know? But,
Just normal
again...
normal copy swappy, and then all of you just hunker down and hope nobody notices you.
The distraction would be really good, though.
Well, I
Yeah,
leave it to
yeah.
ye. I'm only one vote in this, and we're already not doing it my way, which is why we're dealing with this, so... Your call. Not that I'm griping. Maybe a little griping. Just a little.
Sounds like a lot of
10%
griping.
Sounds like shade.
I do believe at least one of you has a face block that you took from Jinghai Sloan's vault as well.
That'd be useful inside, maybe, but at the checkpoint, that would probably get us.
Yeah,
Like
if they
flag.
see you using it, that's
Yeah.
going to be very bad. But
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. What's the vote?
Well,
Whatever
I'm
gets
going
served.
on the limb that they won't just execute who they think are us in public.
Man, you're gonna get the GM ideas. Okay. Fuck it,
I'm
let's
gonna
try it.
All right.
Who's Jim?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What?
Never mind.
Go ahead, Ghost, and make me a knowledge technology check. It will be DR 14.
Okay.
I think they're talking about that one of those characters from that old cartoon, Game Master.
Yeah, the one where the teenagers got lost in a strange world and had to do taxes and work in an office. That one.
Oh god. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Yeah, go ahead, glitch.
Oh, 4 and then 3. It's knowledge technology, so that's actually plus 6 or 9. But
Would you
9.
like another glitch?
is it worth
four.
spending that many?
Jonathan, do you want to spend
it's
this
better than getting
I've
more.
just used one of my 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can
Or-
put mine. I got 4.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, re-roll.
You're fucking with me. It's 3 again.
3 again. I'll let you take the 9.
Okay, we'll take the 9.
All right. The encryption protocol they're using is real good shit. This is not Alliansen's usual fare. They've rolled out something experimental, a beta version of next-gen tech, just for you, Ghost. And so, as Ghost sits there in the back seat, her hologram flickering, a look of intense concentration on her face, suddenly, the instrument that the Alliansen security officer waves in front of your car turns bright red, bathing you in crimson light. Ghost manages to untangle the encryption just at the last possible moment, getting copy swappy active, and just as suddenly as the instrument flashes red, it flickers again, bathes the car in a bright green glow, and the officer looks down at it, confused, tapping it with his finger and then shrugging, chalking it down to a temporary malfunction. But the encryption, you're so tangled up in it that as you extract yourself, the full force of all of the black ice contained within Alliansen's 8th gen security protocol swarms you, and the rest of you just see Ghost's hologram flicker, her face warp and distort. For a fraction of a second, there's nothing there but undifferentiated shards of data, ones and zeros that are breaking away into flickering green quarks. Lying down on top of the back seat, peering out of the back window, Squelch, the grey alien, opens his mouth in shock and horror as you watch Ghost's digitized body deconstruct into a series of bare data strings and disappear.
Oh my god.
Ghost reforms a couple seconds later, just pop, blinking back into existence. But there is blood running down her cheeks from her eyes, and she's clutching both of her hands to her ears her face screwed up in obvious agony. And Ghost, you have taken 9 points of damage from the black ice.
God.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Aye, they're not kidding around.
You barely have time to ask Ghost if they're okay when suddenly the Alliansen operative standing just outside reaches a hand to his weapon, points at the van behind you, barks an order to his compatriots, and they converge en masse on the white van. Jonathan, you take this as your cue to floor it. You slam your foot on the pedal and the tires squeal as the taxi screams down the off-ramp into the street ahead. And you turn around a corner, swallowed up in the early morning chaos of North Central, just as the sounds of gunfire emanate from behind.
Oh, good lord. Suffice to say I was wrong. They want us dead. They want us really, really dead.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Jonathan's going to pull over for just a second to tend to Ghost. That doesn't look good. That looks very bad, actually.
You pull the taxi onto the side of the road, making it look as if you're waiting for fares, letting the engine idle as you attend to Ghost.
So he's going to rip out one of the sets of like syrettes and first aid bandages and stuff from the first aid kit he's got. Second last set, and gets work, kind of doing what he can to alleviate her pain and patch her up.
Go ahead, make me a knowledge medicine check.
What the fuck are you even planning? I'm not a human.
It says the first aid kit heals D6.
It does, yes, but you still need to pass the medicine check.
Oh, right, because she's not... Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a physical form you can help?
Shh.
That is...
Intent means for a lot in this here world, and that's all I can say on the matter.
18.
18. So, Ghost isn't, in the strictest sense, real anymore. But the injuries she's sustained certainly appear to be. And Jonathan, as you mime wrapping bandages over her extremities, which are exhibiting rather nasty third-degree burns, and splash medical alcohol into her ears and other parts of her that appear to have been damaged. It seems to do something. Maybe it isn't.
How does that even work?
Look, I'm a doctor. You need to trust me, alright?
You're what?
A doctor!
Fine.
Maybe it is intent, as Kitty suggested. Either way, Ghost, you get to recover D6 health.
With Combat Medic, I get an instant max roll for healing items.
Ah, max roll, yeah, so 6 HP back.
I did nerf
3
that a little bit,
damage
but I kept that
altogether.
bit.
Yeah. 3 damage down.
How?
Shh, says Kitty.
Oh
The
shit.
more
Part
you
of the
question it,
system.
the more
Just make it
you listen. The more you question it, the less it'll work.
work.
Are you saying that I work with placebos?
No,
I didn't go to college to... I'm
I
I'm
ain't
offended.
saying anything of the sort. Oh, never mind. You'll get it eventually.
I think she's saying you're a magician.
Techno magician. Jonathan rolls his eyes as he
fucking makes sense.
wraps his hands around the steering wheel and pulls back out onto the street. You drive past the ominous monolith. the only remaining reminder of the existence of Omnos Corporation, once the undisputed kings of Psi, until the great economic collapse of 2043. This gigantic stone obelisk that takes up an entire city block of its own, towering over an empty concrete lot, remains as a monument to their hubris. And when you're about a block away from the Alliansen data crypt, you pull up into a general purpose car park, sliding the taxi into a spot in between two roboto movers, AI-driven food delivery trucks that are dormant as they take their corporate mandated brunch time break. Jonathan kills the engine, and then you climb out, stepping onto the sun-bleached asphalt that is so white in the morning sun that it nearly burns your eyes. And you begin to make your way to your destination, hoping that whatever you've already been through is not just the beginning, and knowing deep down that that is almost certainly incorrect. As you make your way down the main street towards the nexus where the data crypt is located, you get swallowed up in the crowd. Partly for your own protection, but also partly because at this time of the morning, in broad daylight, the streets are absolutely clogged with corpos. You're lost in a sea of white, grey, and black suits. The occasional blue-collar worker interspersed among them, clearly only here to deliver something or to fix an air conditioning unit before they're punted back to the in-betweens. And yet, even though you're safe among these throngs of people, you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. And of course you are. This is North Central. This is the bustling heart of Psi. CCTV cameras on every street corner. Hell, on the facade of every building in the street, watching your every move, evaluating you, comparing your faces and body profiles to endless lists, determining whether or not you're supposed to be here, determining whether or not you're the exploiters or the exploited. Paradigm, I would like you to go ahead for me and make a presence investigate check, DR14.
Who is your old mate there?
Just Paradigm for the moment.
Do we think this is something I should re-roll?
It's up to you. The dice don't seem to like you very much today.
We're getting a harsh start. It's honestly your call.
I think I'll save my glitches for now, so it's just a 9 total.
It's a 9. You catch something out of the corner of your eye. You stop letting the others walk ahead and peer over your shoulder. For a brief second, you think one of the people in the crowd is staring right at you, that they've stopped in place in the middle of the street. Their eyes are narrowed as they peer at you with an expressionless, pensive look on their face. And you feel a tinge of paranoia, but as soon as you catch their gaze, they look away, merge back into the crowd, pull a data pad out of the breast pocket of their suit and hold it in front of their face, losing themselves in the morning news feeds, no longer paying attention to you. And you write it off as adrenaline, being jumpy before perhaps the biggest, most dangerous job in your career so far. And so, you don't really think anything of it when this man in the crowd, peering at you over the brim of his data pad, slowly gets closer and closer to you, following the movements of the group through the crowd, until suddenly he's standing right behind you. You look over your shoulder again, Paradigm, catch his gaze, and this time you see him for what he is. Those eyes staring right back at you are not human. Instead, the red-tinged camera lenses of a disguised side droid. With superhuman movement, he flings the data pad to the ground and rushes at you, his right arm immediately morphing into a sharp vibro blade that he tries to plant right between your ribs. Go ahead, Paradigm, and make me a defend roll. It will be at DR 16, as you did not notice him approaching you.
Ew. Well, that helps. It's just gonna be agility.
Is it worth dropping a glitch to lower the DR?
Up to you.
Maybe, but it's up to you.
Alright.
See what you get.
Does that now become... so you dropping a glitch, are you, kitty?
Oh, hey, you get a watch out at the last second. So yeah, I'll give you a glitch to lower the DR.
And it doesn't help anyway. As I get a 5.
The side droid smiles, revealing a row of sharp metallic teeth. Jan Kana, it says, as it slams the vibro blade into your rib, Paradigm, and you take 7 points of damage.
Ooh.
Oh,
You may absorb with armor.
could be worse.
Yeah. Now let's say D4. Hey, it's a 4, so we're gonna take 3.
You recoil from the blow, ripping the vibro blade out and kicking the doppel away. Its holographic disguise is stripped away, revealing it for what it is. A mechanical, skeletal menace, resembling a human skeleton made out of chrome, steel, and silicon. It readies itself for another attack as Screams emanate from the crowd. People begin to scatter as a second side droid, a skulker, its void black steel alloy murder skeleton, stepping out of a nearby alleyway, readies its silenced SMG and fires into the crowd. I would like everybody, except Paradigm, to make a Presence Investigate DR12 roll, or the Skulker will get to go before you roll initiative.
All right then.
Presence
Investigate.
DR12.
Presence Investigate, thank you.
Okay, that's 14.
14.
That's a 7 from me.
7. Ooh, Kitty, you're the decider.
19.
19. Kitty shouts, "Look out! Over there! Enemy ship!" As the Skulker begins to unload its gun, a couple of corpos take the full brunt of the assault and fall to the ground, spraying the sun-bleached concrete with their blood. And Kitty, you won that group check, so go ahead, roll a d6 for initiative.
Alright. Let's see if we can get another miracle here. Yes! 6!
6.
Oh, is this our first successful
We
initiative?
Second,
won
actually.
last session. Second in the
Oh.
campaign, yeah.
Out of
Second
like
roll.
10 games, we've won initiative twice.
Punks go first. All right, Paradigm, you're the one they're collecting the debt from. Go ahead, you're up.
Oh, God, ow.
How much damage did you take again? Was it 7?
It ended up only being 3 because of my armor.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
are.
thank
okay.
goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good armor. Alright.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to attempt to returning kind and carve him up with a chainsaw.
You pull the cord. Go ahead, Alt.
That was me, actually.
Sorry. Yeah.
We have a very similar voice. Would my armor apply with Ghost?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, for all intents and purposes, you have physicality. You just can change your shape at will.
Okay.
Because remember, in this world of an augmented reality, digital things have physical presence in the world.
Yeah, in that case, I'm going to quickly roll a d2 and recalculate what I would have taken back then.
Oh, from the ice? No, that bypasses.
Oh, of course,
armor.
no, it's ice. Yeah, I don't. Right.
So Paradigm, go ahead, roll to hit him with your chainsaw.
Strength. Yeah, so that's 13, which would hit, wouldn't it?
It hits. Go ahead, roll the damage.
Good chance I haven't used it a bit.
We can cut him up.
I think it's a d6 plus 1. Could be wrong.
Yeah, d6 plus 1, so that's 5 damage.
5 damage. You carve off one of his arms, and his skin weave absorbs 1 point of damage. 4 points of damage altogether. Alright, next we'll go with Jonathan.
So there's 2 of them, right? One with an
Two of
SMG
them.
and one with
One of them with an SMG and one with the vibro blade.
Vibro blade, that's the one.
Yeah, the one that's carving me up.
Alright, Jonathan's going to try and get clear of the crowd that's probably dispersing as much as possible and take a shot at the one with the SMG.
Go ahead.
No he doesn't. That's a natural 2, so there's no way I can make that up.
Yeah. You raise your gun, and you've got the side droid in your sights, but as you pull the trigger, a corpo woman, flustered, her blonde hair whipping around her face as she runs blindly along the footpath, throws herself into your line of fire as she attempts to scramble for cover behind a trash can, and you riddle her with bullets. She doesn't even have time to scream.
Oh, Jonathan's gonna feel real bad about that one. Later.
Alright. Kitty, you're up.
Well, somebody does need to lock down the shooter, so Kitty's gonna go and try to take him out at the knees with her mana sword.
Yep.
Get him to stop killing the innocents and start trying to kill the not-so-innocents. Which is me. I'm the not-so-innocent.
Sprint over to the mouth of the alleyway and raise your monoblade. Roll to hit him.
Well, with an 18, I'm pretty sure that there's a hit.
That's definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
'Tis only a single point of damage, though.
Tis only a single point of damage. I won't bother rolling his armor. As
Tap.
as the very edge of the mono blade strikes his metallic form, he raises his SMG, points it right at you, and pulls the trigger, and you have no choice but to withdraw and throw yourself around the corner to avoid a face full of lead. Alright,
Well, I got his attention.
got his attention. Yep. You're up, Ghost.
Okay. I feel like Ghost is still a bit sore from everything, so we're not going to try the spear maneuver.
That was good last time, though.
It was good. Do I have my gun?
Yeah, well, you can manifest it. Any item you have on your person, you can manifest at any time.
We'll go with that then. I'm just going to go regular old auto fire. With my
May as
machine
well.
pistol.
May as well go old auto fire. Go ahead, roll to hit him. Which one first, the shooter or the stabber?
Stabber.
Alright, go ahead. He is closer.
13 nat.
Yeah, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
Oh, right, it's D6. Let me just grab that. I don't fucking trust the dice roller anymore. I'm doing real ones. That's a 5.
5. His skin weave absorbs 1 point, bringing it down to 4 damage. Go ahead. Fire again. He's still up.
And that's a 4.
That's a 4. To hit.
Oh, right, sorry,
Yeah.
yes,
We'll keep that if you hit him.
9.
9, yeah. Unfortunately, you don't hit him this time. He whirls around using his vibro blade to bash the bullets out of the air like some sort of robot ninja. And then, it's the enemy's turn. The Doppel raises his mono blade. Ting, ting, knocking the last few bullets out of the air, then pirouettes around and goes straight for Paradigm's fleshy exposed neck. Paradigm, go ahead, roll a normal defense roll.
Oh god. All rolling bad for me at the moment, so roll whatever. Oh, well that was a natural 18, so...
Natural 18, yeah. You duck back, as the vibro blade comes within an inch of your neck, nearly gutting you. The skulker in the alleyway, his SMG primed, takes aim at Kitty and fires. Go ahead, Kitty.
Well, let's see if this is the time when somebody's finally got me number. I doubt it, but you never know. Well, that'd be a 5, and plus that, which is 11 says I'm getting pegged.
Yeah.
Does it now?
Not in the, oh dear, language drift.
You're riddled with SMG bullets and you take 4 points of damage.
Do I? Armor says... I'm taking 2.
2, better than 4. The Skulker, of course, is auto-firing, so as he sees you flung off your feet from that barrage, he steps forwards, cocks his weapon and fires another round at you. Go ahead, Kitty.
Well, on the plus side, I'm not in the position I was. I've been knocked back. So, silver lining and all that. But with 20-something, this time
Yeah.
Kitty's wised up to his patterns.
You roll out of the way, and the dead woman beside you is riddled with bullets, her body vibrating with the impact of each one. Alright, Paradigm, you're up.
Oh, that wasn't fun. So I've still got Sword Boy on me.
Yep, gonna cut him with your chainsaw again.
Yeah, it seems to be working, so let's keep it up. But I think a 9's gonna miss, isn't it?
A 9 will miss, unfortunately.
Ooh, which is now the first time I have to roll for this.
Yeah, you might hurt yourself.
Yep. I miss and hit myself.
Hey, it's what happens when you play with chainsaws.
Yep.
Meteor lands on the party.
Oh, don't tempt
Oh.
fate.
God, and I almost rolled max damage.
So what happens is you swing at him and he reacts with superhuman precision, whirls around and parries the
three, thankfully.
chainsaw with his mono blade, almost like a Robo Leon Kennedy. And after he parries, he kicks out with his leg and you fall backwards, creating a large gash in your left arm as the blade of the chainsaw comes down. Alright, Jonathan, you're up.
Well, time to do the song and dance of rattling away with your assault rifle. That's what he does. So the SMG wielding side droid is going to be getting hopefully a nice little barrage of bullets.
Hopefully.
Wait.
You got this.
Actually, yes. This time with auto fire, I do. I get exactly 12.
Ooh, nice. Roll the damage.
That is a 6.
Step out of cover behind a parked car and unload your rifle into him, blasting off some circuitry. It breaks off his chest plate and shatters on the ground. His metal frame absorbs 3 points of the damage, but that's still 3 points of damage he's taking. Go ahead, you gonna fire again?
Yeah, I'm going to use all potentially 3 of the shots on the same side droid.
Go ahead.
Nope, that's a fumble.
That's a fumble. Ooh. He's ready. Would you like to use a glitch to neutralize the fumble?
What does it cost to repair a weapon?
It will cost a third of the weapon's price, or you can attempt to make a knowledge mechanics check to fix it.
I'll just let the fumble go then. Not using up the glitch.
Click! I'm going to roll to see what happens. Luckily, your weapon does not break. Rather, it just jams, and you have to use an action to unjam it next round. Alright. Ghost, you're up.
Okay, how's our stabber looking?
Stabber's looking like it's taken a fair bit of damage, but it's still up, and it's parrying a chainsaw.
It's currently parrying a chainsaw, okay. Definitely not getting up close and personal with that then.
It's fine.
I want to see if I can shoot its legs to just to stabilize it so the parry
Shoot
fails.
legs. Go ahead. That'll make it easier to hit as well. If you manage to hit it, go ahead, roll to hit.
19.
19, nice. Go ahead,
Half
roll
damage.
your damage. How much damage?
5.
5, nice.
And the next roll was a 10.
10? That does not... Actually... Yeah, so you're auto-firing.
Yeah.
So the first shot, you're right on. You shoot it in the right leg, hitting its knee, blasting a joint off, and it falls to the ground. Its skin weave absorbs 2 points of damage, but as it's on the ground, flailing its arm with the mono blade, you have a much easier time to hit it, and the 10 on your second one hits. Go ahead, roll the damage.
Lovely. 3.
3. The bullet slams into the Doppel's head. It whirs as its red eyes flicker and die. You've destroyed it.
Awesome. Can I keep firing at someone else, or does that not how auto
Yeah,
fire
you
works?
can fire at the Skulker now if you like.
Okay, well that's a 17 with 5 damage.
5 damage, nice. His metal frame absorbs 3, he takes 2 damage, but he is now alone. And he's running low on HP, so he will roll a morale check on his next round.
Lovely. The next one was an 8, so I think that's a miss.
Yeah, well, you don't get more than 3 anyway. But
Oh,
you're
that's
up.
right,
You're up, Kitty.
Well, let's be trying this a second at a time. And actually, what we're going to do is leap out, try to grab the Skulker by the front of his jacket and drive her sword into his heart.
Yeah, go ahead, roll to hit him.
We're going to do a little attack on Titanry here. Fortunately, she's really good at this, so that'll be a 12.
12, yeah, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
Can I get better than a 1? I got a 6!
6. Since you're striking at his heart, you're attacking the part of his chest plate that Jonathan blew open before, so whatever he rolls for armor, I'm going to halve it. So instead of him absorbing 4 damage, he absorbs 2 as you jam your blade into his metallic innards. It doesn't kill him, but he's currently running diagnostic algorithms, trying to decide if this battle is lost. And I'm going to roll morale for him. He fails morale. With his free hand, he wrenches your sword out of his chest, throwing you away. And then he peers in your direction, and you hear a loud beep emanate from his CPU. Beep! Beep! Self-destruct activated. Jonathan and Kitty, go ahead and make for me a DR12 agility acrobatics roll.
So I'm gonna leap off him, fire me grappling arm, and try to swing behind cover.
Yeah, well, if you're using your grappling arm, then you don't need to roll.
That's a
All
15.
right.
And 15, Jonathan ducks back behind the parked car as the side droid explodes, raining shrapnel down on the street. The combat and the debt collection is over. Everyone may roll 1d4 as usual, recover that much health, and go ahead and roll to see if you need to reload. Your ears ring from the explosion. It takes about a minute for the smoke to clear, but once it's gone, the crowd is reformed around you, and almost as if nothing happened, the corpos are once again scurrying about like busy worker bees. In the distance, you hear sirens piercing the air. The Sec Corps are on their way to investigate the disturbance.
Time to go.
You follow Kitty into the mouth of the alleyway and are swallowed up in the shadows. So, any reactions to what just happened?
Well, if they didn't know we're coming, I'm sure they know now. There's no way that people getting shot in the middle of the street is not going to, spread pretty quickly.
But they knew you were coming anyway, so...
Oh, they didn't know when?
They didn't know when. You've lost the element of surprise. That's for certain, but hopefully you'll be smart enough that you won't need it.
To be fair, we didn't have much of an element of surprise anyway.
You emerge out of the alleyway onto the edge of the Nexus, and sure enough, just as Vera Coilings described, the Alliansen data crypt is a giant concrete slab. It looks like the Great Pyramid of Egypt, only far less cultural, far more intimidating, and it is indeed an eyesore, taking pride of place in amongst a city block of glass skyscrapers that tower over it. The concrete pyramid sits on its own on a big open concrete lot. There's not even a chain link fence to bar intruders from stepping onto the lot. The big gold Alliansen logo that shines from the facade of the pyramid is probably enough deterrence. Sticking out of the side of the concrete foundation, you see two double metal doors, the only obvious entrance. There doesn't appear to be any other means of entering the building, at least that you could see from here.
Well, we're here, so I guess we've got a job to do. Do you want to spend some time looking around, or is this it? We're just gonna...
Oh no, this ain't it. We need to case this joint. We need to thoroughly find a way in that ain't into, a face full of turrets and grenade launchers and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
In a path and then move fast.
So, you have two ways of doing this, I figure. You can physically case the joint, do a perimeter of the building. You'll probably get caught on the security cameras by anyone who's watching. Or maybe Ghost could try to hack into said security cameras, get a view of the building and see if they can catch anything from the vision that is provided. Won't allow you to see absolutely anything. Or, Paradigm.
I could case the outside of the building in a way that would hopefully not get me spotted.
Yeah, because you have your invisibility.
I have that, and I also have Swarm Trip.
You do have your Swarm, which could also let you get in another way, yeah.
So I could look around the outside, see if there's another door, or if there's... Or I could probably slip through a crack in the front door and see what's on the inside.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any point to, having anyone else stick out their necks when you can do that. So, go ahead, roll to activate your invisibility.
Yeah, my Swarm Trip. The other thing is, I have about... I only have 10 minutes, otherwise I would just kill myself.
Oh, don't be doing that. It's been such a nice day so far.
Anna, so I could add all my bonuses. Oh, nice. Well, it's a natural 12, so that makes it a...
Yeah, that's a pass.
Was that 19 total?
Yeah, so that's definitely a pass. Still riding on Ghost's shoulder, Squelch clasps a stumpy little hand in front of his mouth and gasps as Paradigm's body disintegrates before your eyes into a sentient cloud of nanobots, each the size of a single grain of dust. And then, looking for all the world like a moving shadow, that swarm makes its way across the street and into the concrete lot. So, takes you only about 5 minutes to do a lap around the pyramid paradigm, and aside from the front door, you find one other possible means of entering. That would be along the right-hand side of the pyramid, around the corner and just out of view of the street. There's a large pipe, about roughly big enough for a small child to be able to squeeze into. It's an exit pipe for the toxic fumes generated by the coolant inside the building, or at least that's what the rusted little sign that's embedded in the concrete right next to it says. You don't see any fumes, there's no gas or anything coming out of the pipe, and in your nanoform you can't smell. So you don't know if there's any danger in going through here, but it is a possible option.
Okay, so I see that.
Otherwise, you can slip right underneath the metal doors and see what's inside.
Yeah, he'll just take note of that, alright. I can't see anything, but that doesn't help much. I can't see anything coming out of it, but yeah. And then he'll fly back around the front and slip through the gaps.
Swarm of nanobots slides under the tiny gap and emerges in a little entrance lobby. This tiny featureless room contains nothing other than a set of bulletproof glass doors directly ahead. Through them, you can see at least one ceiling turret in the reception lobby beyond, and there's a warning label on the glass saying that intruders going any further will be shot indiscriminately. However, with your presence, Paradigm, you also notice a air duct. It's about the size of a shoebox embedded into the wall to your left. And it might provide an alternate means of getting into the facility itself without having to go into the lobby and risk getting blasted.
Oh, okay. And the doors, just out of my own curiosity, how do the doors seem like they're attached? Are they just usual, bolt hinge sort of thing?
Well, the two front doors look like normal bolt and hinge doors. The two glass doors that lead into the lobby look like they slide open. There's some sort of button next to them that people can press. There isn't any retina detector or any kind of identification scanner, likely because you'd think the turrets being ready to blast anyone away who's unauthorized would be enough of a deterrent.
Yeah. Alright, so vent, bulletproof glass, and then being cautious of how much time I have left, I'm going to head back to where they are.
Head back to the others. You make your way back to the others, and Paradigm reforms right in front of you, quickly reciting what he saw. There's a small entrance lobby, and beyond that a set of bulletproof glass doors, and beyond that some sort of admin or reception area, and there's at least one turret ready to blast you the moment you step through those bulletproof doors. There's also an exit pipe for the coolant. You could probably squeeze in, but it claims that's the exhaust pipe for toxic fumes. And I brought up the map of the facility in Owlbear as well.
Ah, nice.
I don't precisely breathe, so I don't think fumes would be doing much to me. If you want, I can take the lead there.
Yep, and same for Ghost, but Paradigm and Jonathan.
Aye. Well, it wasn't so much... I mean, yeah, in my swarm form I can only see, I can't really detect other ways. But it's more... I was also more worried about where that pipe then leads to, if it's supposedly a gas exhaust.
Yeah.
Aye. That's the downside. We might not get to any place we want to be.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go in and take a look around and come back and let us know it's safe, we can proceed. But I'm not going in there.
Alright.
Not unless
Run
I
a
know
bit
that
of
I'm
a
not going to get fried or something.
Yeah.
I'll go have a look around, shall I?
Kitty scurries across the road and you watch her disappear around the corner of the pyramid. Kitty, you stand in front of the exhaust pipe, and since you're not a sentient swarm of nanobots, you can smell an incredibly noxious chemical smell coming from within. It makes your eyes water, and you can almost feel it burning your skin.
So...
It doesn't appear to be corrosive, but it's definitely incredibly toxic. You don't want to breathe that stuff in.
Oh, I'll stop breathing then. Then I'll go and have a look to see if there's a way to shut off the fumes temporarily, or where does the pipe go?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't go anywhere good, then there's no point in...
Press yourself flat down on the rusted metal, pulling yourself through the narrow pipe. There's a couple twists and turns at several points. At one point, it descends down in a sheer drop. And the further into the pipe you get, the hotter and denser the air becomes, the stronger the noxious smell is. Finally, after a few minutes, you come to the end of the exhaust pipe, and it appears to overhang a metal grate walkway in the coolant pit. There's a single metallic walkway directly beneath you, out of the mouth of the pipe, and underneath that, about 30-40 feet down, this huge circular room is filled with industrial coolant. It's so bright that you can barely look at it, a searing, bright, pale blue colour, and it's quite obvious that a misstep here would lead to instant death.
This would kill all me friends in a heartbeat, and there'd be no way to shut off the pipe. Alright.
Hold your breath, though, or put on a gas mask or a rebreather if you have one.
Could, and I'll subvoke back to the team what I found.
Yeah.
Anything I can do?
Maybe I'll look around for like an emergency flush setup or a station to interface with, which can adjust it so that to temporarily stop the coolant, or something like that.
You peer around, and from where you are in the mouth of the pipe, all you can see is that there are two doors leading out of this room, one to the south and one to the west. The one to the west has the word control stamped on the door frame. It could say control room, but the rest of the word is obscured by another big pipe that runs over that section of walkway.
Mind control room.
Shall I check it out then?
Yeah, take a
Yeah,
look.
please.
All right. Kitty
Alright.
will head that way, sneaking as much as she can.
Sneaking as much as you can. You drop down out of the pipe onto the metallic grate, and as you land on it, it vibrates, and for a brief moment it feels as if the grating under your feet is about to just snap and dump you into the coolant. But thankfully, it holds firm.
This is not going to be a picnic for anyone full-sized.
So this is essentially a giant underground service gutter, an abyssal circular pit filled with toxic coolant. The taste of metal lingers in your mouth, and just standing in the room gives you a splitting headache. Pipes and wires crisscross the room, ducking under the walkways and overhanging them. And a harsh white light illuminates the entire thing from a single skybox on the very top of the coolant pit that looks out onto the city above. As you make your way over the walkway towards the control room, Kitty, what is your presence?
+3.
+3. Hear a loud hum coming from your right. You whirl around, and from the hallway leading to the facility entrance, you see a swarm of flyer drones, at least 3 of them, slowly making their way down the narrow corridor on patrol, moving towards you. And in a few moments, they'll emerge in the coolant pit and see you there on the walkway, a sitting duck. What would you like to do?
There be pipes overhead, aye?
Yeah, there'll be pipes overhead.
I will grapple up to one and put it between me and the drones.
Yep. So, I won't get you to roll for stealth. Instead, I'll get you to roll an agility, acrobatics, to make sure nothing untoward happens as you grapple up to a pipe. Because there's a lot of them. Some look stronger than others.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a very potentially dangerous room.
Is the fact that I'm small helpful to me?
Yes, you may add +2 to your roll.
In that case, that is precise. Oh, that's a 13.
13. Looking from left to right, you quickly pull out your grappling hook and hurl it over a pipe overhead, pulling yourself up and hugging the metal cylinder as the flyer drones zoom past below. They quickly exit through the door leading to the south. And then, once you hear the humming of their flight mechanisms drop out of earshot, you unwrap your arms from the pipe and drop back down onto the walkway that once again shudders under your weight.
This is going to be tough if we come this way.
Yeah.
But there's no easy way in, really. And then she'll head to the control room, if that is indeed what it is.
As you step through the doorway into the featureless curved corridor that leads to the presumed control room, with your presence, you notice just beyond the curvature of the hallway a single ceiling turret slowly swaying from left to right. It doesn't see you right now, and based on its movement pattern, there would be a slight window of about 3 or 4 seconds that you could just dash past and get into its blind spot.
Well then, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3, just go.
Yeah. Go ahead to make me an agility athletics check.
Small again?
Small again helps, yep.
Alright. That's a 15 on the die, so that's well over 20.
Well over 20. Lovely. You stop and wait, psyching yourself up as the turret gaze passes over the curvature of the wall. And then you gun it. Anchors away! Charging at full speed down the hallway and bursting through the open doorway into what is, thankfully, a control room. Lit by monitors, espresso-stained readouts, static buzzing, spinny chairs on rollers, and a reinforced window with a view of the coolant pit. There's no computer terminal here, but there is a big access console that controls the coolant pit and the power core in this facility. The only problem, there's minimal instructions.
Alright, Ghost, are you ready to practice some safe input-output?
Let's do this.
Sorry, can't buy you a drink first. And Kitty pulls a jack from her forehead and head into the access point. Trusting you with me brain again.
As you slide the jack in, you feel a great lurch as if you're in an elevator that suddenly cut its cables and gone tumbling down the shaft. And those of you who are waiting outside in the alleyway, you see Ghost's body flicker and disappear as their thoughts and experiences become one with Kitty's. Ghost, the access console for the power system is directly in front of you, and with your knowledge and your technology skill, you immediately notice several mechanisms that would allow you to either turn off the exhaust system, presumably for maintenance, flood the coolant pit, causing the coolant to spill out into adjoining rooms, or force an emergency override on the power core, shutting down the power. Though this probably wouldn't last very long.
I also have fears of dead man switches and such.
Yeah, it's entirely fair.
Sorry, my options were again?
So, from what you can tell, just off the top of your head, unless you can think of more creative options, turn off the exhaust system for 10 minutes. That would give people enough time to get through the pipes and get in here. You can flood the coolant pit, which would cause all of the coolant to flood into the adjoining rooms. And according to your map, the server farm isn't that far away from the coolant pit. That might be a way to instantly destroy all the servers, but would be incredibly dangerous. Or shut down the entire power core, thrusting the facility into darkness, though this probably wouldn't last very long.
Okay.
And yes, there is a missile silo according to the map.
Yeah.
Yes, I did notice the missile silo.
Is that
It's
actually
what
there?
said about dead man switches and stuff.
Yeah, the
Um,
map that's on screen is what's appearing in your REDs.
Another potential
jeez.
way in.
Assuming it was
okay.
open, yes.
So the coolant pit would flood into the break room and the server farm.
Yeah.
And maybe the lobby?
Maybe the lobby, yeah.
But we want to get through the server farm, don't we? We want to engage a back door for it.
Well, you won't need to do that if you flood it with coolant. It'll just destroy the whole thing. But
Yeah,
you'd
that's
be
true.
missing out on potentially valuable pay data that might be in those servers.
Look, man, I don't think we have time to worry about that today. But, man.
Tis a tough decision. I don't envy you.
Well, you can think of other creative solutions if you
Just
like.
thinking about what. Yeah, I'm just really running through my options here.
Yeah.
Drilling, listening.
I mean, flooding the coolant sounds fun, but
Why don't we work with just shutting down the power temporarily? Just turn it off.
That
Might
could
only
have
be
a
a short
lot
period.
of unintended flow-on effects.
it could, yes.
Yeah.
The
And
safest,
what it's keeping in check, yeah.
or the safest option is to shut the fumes down to get everyone through in the 10 minutes to get through the pipe. That's the conservative option.
Yeah, just shut in the vent at least.
I mean, Jonathan has a
And-
breather, so he can get through okay. But
Yeah, well, then it would just be Paradigm that would have to try to...
could
I'm gonna
Paradigm just
roll
go
a
as the swarm
D6.
nanobots?
But you could just go any swarm form again and then it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm gonna roll a d6, guys.
Alright.
Okay.
1 to 2 is the conservative route, just shutting down the vents.
You get progressively...
2 to 4 is
progressively less
venting the
conservative.
coolant, and 5 to 6. 3 to 4 is venting the coolant, and 5 to 6 is shutting down the power. All right,
Yep.
Alright.
that's a 6.
6.
Duh.
Shutting
Shutting down the
alright.
power it is. This will also have the knock-on effect of shutting down the exhaust, but
Hey,
that
so you'll
doesn't
be able to
really
get
matter. As you shut down the power and the little readout on the console reads emergency override in 10 minutes, and it begins to count down as all of the lights immediately go out and the ever-present hum of industrial machinery coming from the coolant pit stops. Well, the turrets in the reception lobby are now unpowered, and so is the one that's out in the corridor.
Okay, any sign of anything else being weird?
Not that you can tell from this console. It literally just has a tiny LED with a single readout counting down the time until the power boots back up.
How long have we got?
10 minutes. But
Yep.
with your knowledge of technology, you would know that unless the server farm is kept at a pretty cool temperature, some of those mainframes are probably going to be buckling under the heat very soon. Not all of them, but you've definitely caused some damage.
Okay.
Say, Ghost, while I'm waiting for you to come here, is it alright if I go in the corridor and trash that turret? Otherwise, I'll just have to sneak by it again.
Go for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Kitty wrenches the jack out, and Ghost reappears in the alleyway. And as Kitty steps out into the corridor and uses her monoblade to smash the turret off the roof, the rest of you, what are you going to do? Main entrance or pipe?
Jonathan's gonna respirator up the
Yep.
oxygen breather and get through the pipe as quickly as possible. Rip off the band-aid.
And Paradigm and Ghost?
I want to get over to that server farm.
Yeah,
Yeah, through the pipe.
through the
The
pipe.
power's
Yep.
down, but there's still probably a receptionist or something sitting at the
Yeah.
desk.
Alright, Paradigm, you're going to have to turn into your swarm form again.
Yep.
Unless you have a rebreather.
I have not yet purchased one.
Because the exhaust system's turned off, but because it wasn't flushed, there's still going to be remaining
Yeah.
fumes in the pipe.
What is that?
Detroit become bees.
Detroit become bees. Yep.
I'm going to glitch to lower the DC, which will
Yep.
change it to a success, because it was an 11 before.
Yeah, lovely. So, about 10 minutes later, as Kitty steps out into the now darkened coolant pit, triumphantly holding the circuitry from the turret and dropping it over the railing into the coolant pit below, Jonathan, Ghost, and Paradigm in Nanoswarm drop out of the mouth of the pipe, landing on the walkway below. And if you thought it was riveting before, Kitty, You almost call out in shock and horror as the entire grating swivels, looking like it's about to become detached from the platform in the center of the room as Jonathan and Paradigm drop out onto it. But miraculously it stays firm, and as you all reconvene on the central platform, Paradigm's body slowly reforms in front of you, and you've got a few minutes left before the power core turns back on. By now, the control room will have started the reboot, but that still takes an additional few minutes for all of the machinery in the power core to actually get running. So, Ghost wants to go from here to the server farm. You can also exit the opposite way and head towards the break room and the lobby, but it's up to you.
We're probably not going to find him in the break room.
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty stupid.
Would be really funny there.
It would be.
Unless he's in the toilet.
Yeah,
I think
one of the
once we
two
get to the
toilets.
server farm, it's only a hop and a skip to the security office. And then we can definitely find him.
Yeah.
Oh, why do I get the awful feeling he's in the missile silo?
Or wherever this pipe leads.
Yeah.
Server farm sounds good to me, is what I'm saying.
It'll be in the power core. It'll be more dramatic that way.
You scurry across the metallic grating and down the featureless, narrow corridor to the south. And you emerge in a semicircle shaped room that's flanked in thick bulletproof glass, an observation deck for the server farm. Embedded into the wall behind you is a panel displaying the current status of each of the servers. There are 100 servers in the farm. 8 of them have shut down due to the temperature within the farm increasing. And about half of them are in critical condition, due to shut down within the next few minutes, unless the power comes back on. There's a single doorway cut into the glass that lets you access the server farm beyond.
Can you get the power back on? Like, now, manually? So we can work on the servers without risk of them exploding or whatever.
Unfortunately not. You'd have to head to the power core.
I'm thinking that you take this opportunity to check out the security office while the cameras be offline.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
And we can always come back to the server farm when the power be back and we have full control of security, you know?
Alright, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Let's get a hurry on though, because we don't have a whole lot of time.
I guess
Well, here was gonna lollygag, but sure.
The little glass door slides open as you step out into the server farm proper. An seemingly endless expanse of humming servers and blinking lights. Dry, hot air. The inside of a giant computer. There are rows and rows of server racks stuffed with zettabytes of data. And, although the power's off, it looks like the autonomous crawler drone has its own power source as it patrols through the rows of server racks, its red eyes blinking as its canine-shaped face slowly scans for threats.
Oh.
Why is it always dogs?
The room's big enough, there's lots of servers, be quite easy to sneak through, but it's up to you.
I
I'm
like
all
it,
for
Dodger.
sneaking.
Alright,
Just want to get through there, yeah.
try sneaking. If it doesn't work, we can try bullets.
Alright, so anyone who'd like to sneak, and Paradigm is still in your swarm form, so you don't have to roll. Everyone else, go ahead and make an agility stealth check.
Not me. Thank you.
That is a 15.
Well, you do as well, Ghost, because you're still, like, manifesting. Your hologram is physical.
Okay. 'Cause,
21.
Actually, question.
I,
Are the
I,
servers
I would
still
like to
online?
just break up into.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you could do that. You could just break up into data if you want, in which case you can decrease it to DR10, because
Lovely.
the data could still be seen by the crawler drone, but it'd be much harder.
Are the servers still online, or do we have to wait for them to come?
Yeah, the vast majority of them still appear to be online, but Ghost would know this with their knowledge and their technology skill, that in order to keep all of these servers running, this room would need to be nearly at freezing temperature. And right now it's not. It's quite warm, stuffy, and dry, meaning that some of these servers are inevitably going to fail within the next few minutes.
Right, so we can't work on them now.
You can if you
Have to come
want.
back.
That's
You
what I
can
was
if-
hoping to do, is to look into them first. Yeah.
Yeah, alright,
Yeah,
so
get into it quick.
So Paradigm and Kitty will head over to the security office while Jonathan keeps watch on the crawler drone and allows Ghost to work on the servers.
I
right?
figure if I split
Okay.
myself up, I can probably work on a few
Yeah.
things at once.
So in that case, I'll get Jonathan to make me an agility stealth check as well, and instead of you making one, Ghost, I'll get you to make a presence technology check, and you're splitting yourself up to check as many servers as possible, so I'll increase the DR to 14.
No
That's
worries.
16 for me, so I think that's a pass.
Yep,
I got a nat 18.
at 18, lovely. So, Paradigm, still in his swarm form, simply passes unseen through the dimly lit gaps between the servers and into the corridor beyond. Kitty scurries, dodges and weaves between the rows, avoiding the gaze of the crawler drone, and heads onwards with Paradigm, while Jonathan takes up a position at the end of one of the aisles, just out of sight of the crawler drone, but ready to fire on it if it notices either him or Ghost. While Ghost simply smiles and winks, and then their body breaks down into a roiling maelstrom of ones and zeros that glimmer in the air above and settle over the servers like glitter. Ghost. Pay dirt. Or at least you think there's gonna be some pay dirt in here somewhere. These servers contain old quarterly reports, security camera recordings, defunct source code, anything Alliansen Incorporated wants to hold on to, but isn't valuable enough to keep on their prime servers. Your first task while you're in here is to open a back door so that Vera Coilings can break in and scrub all evidence of your activities from Alliansen's networks. But you can also take the time to try to pass this data and see if there's anything valuable. Which one would you like to do?
Let's take a look.
Take a look, yeah. So, it takes, in Ghost's time, it takes several minutes to pass this data. In Meat Space, this is only about 10 seconds, but it's long enough for the crawler drone to reach the end of the aisle, turn on the spot, and begin a second patrol back the way it came. So Jonathan, I'm going to ask you to make another agility stealth check to stay out of sight.
Sure, that's a nat 17. Is that enough to pass?
Yeah,
Is it a
definitely
hard
enough.
test?
No, not a hard test at all. You change positions, moving into the next row of servers, keeping an eye on Ghost's data fragments and the crawler drone, keeping your weapon at the ready. Ghost, you find in amongst this data two things that potentially very interesting. The first is some old source code for Alliansen's proprietary Mindweave social network. It's a few generations out of date, but this would be the first glimpse the hacking community's ever had into the inner workings of the Mindweave algorithm, and would allow a number of hacker collectives to do some serious damage to one of Alliansen's biggest profit turners.
Fuck yeah.
The other piece of data that might have been interesting to you is a repository of old security libraries and algorithms that would essentially allow anyone using them to reverse engineer Alliansen's artificial intelligence applications. Unfortunately, this data has been corrupted as it's on one of the servers that failed due to the rising temperatures. You silently curse yourself as you snatch the Mindweave source code instead. You don't know how much it's worth, but it's incredibly valuable. Would you like to plant the back door?
Absolutely.
Yeah, alright. So in meat space, I'd like Jonathan to go ahead and make me a final agility stealth check to keep hiding from the crawler drone.
Let's see how this goes. 13.
13. Good. Just enough.
Plus agility and stealth would be 18, but 13 on the dice.
Yeah, more than enough. Silently creep into the next row of servers as the crawler drone scans the aisle you were just in, and you hear its metallic joints grinding as it continues its patrol behind the row of servers next to you. Ghost. You easily find the node that has the weakest security, the best place to open the back door and establish a connection to the city-wide net, allowing Vera coilings in. These servers are old enough that the ice isn't particularly up-to-date either, but due to there being over 100 different nodes in this farm, there's a lot of ice. It may not be particularly impressive, but it could easily overwhelm you if you're not careful. So go ahead and make a knowledge technology check, DR 16.
Would you like the glitch for that to lower it?
Nope, that's 17.
17.
Oh, cool.
You reach out, grabbing the folds of data in front of you, and as if it's a bed sheet strung up, you tear it open, granting Vera and her collective access. Then you extract yourself from the system, and the data fragments reconsolidate as your body reforms right next to Jonathan. Meanwhile, we'll cross to Paradigm and Kitty. You make your way down the narrow corridor. The walls here are thick concrete, very thick concrete, the kind of concrete you would expect to see in a survival fallout shelter in Ground Zero, and this is slightly unsettling to you. You come to a fork in the road about halfway down the corridor. You can head north, and to the north you see a section of corridor that seems to have collapsed under a huge pile of debris, burying whatever was beyond. To the south is the back entrance to the facility's warehouse. You can see a single camera perched above the door, and a retinal scanner next to it to ensure that only authorized personnel may enter. And straight ahead, the security office. There doesn't appear to be anything in the way of security, save for the retinal scanner next to the door that is currently offline, leaving the rusted metal door unlocked and ready to open.
Right. Cover me then. And Kitty will attempt to open the door.
Attempt to open it. Stealthily, or are you just going to throw it open?
Oh no, stealthily, of course.
Stealthily. Go ahead, roll me an agility stealth check, please.
Alright. Does small apply?
Small does apply.
Right on.
Nice. Don't know how much help I can be as a swarm.
Oh, you
Yeah.
just surprised.
Thank goodness I'm small, for that be a 13.
13. You creep forwards, and glancing over your shoulder at the living shadow that is Paradigm, you smile and push the metal door open, just a crack, just enough to peer into the office beyond, and the first thing you see are 2 kill team operators clad in black tactical gear, their night vision giving them perfect visibility in the pitch darkness.
Night vision, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I know what you're planning.
Yep. Kitty will send out the retinal feed. Remember that Paradigm's currently bacteria and can't see that. She'll hold up 2 fingers, pull out the flashbang, hold up 5 fingers and start folding them down. You want to
Fine.
materialize, Paradigm?
Yeah, it's up to you if you want to catch the operators while they're confused and blinded.
Or you can trust her to try and solo them. We'll see. We can see how that goes.
Yep, trust Kitty. There's only 2 of them that you can see.
No, I think at this point, yeah, the swarm will move back a bit and then I'll rematerialize behind her.
Yep.
Cool.
Just
Kitty,
as
roll.
Kitty's last finger drops and she rolls the flashbang through the gap in the door. Security operators don't notice. Or at least they don't until it goes off.
And they're
Bang!
wearing night vision.
They are
This is
wearing
gonna
night vision.
suck.
So, rather than employing the normal +4 DR, the flashbang overloads their night vision, rendering them completely stunned for a round. They buckle over, begin shouting through the ringing of the flashbang grenade, raising their guns, pointing them, waving them wildly.
And Kitty moves in the darkness and wraps her strangling cord around one and starts hauling.
Yeah, and Paradigm, how about you?
I suppose I'll follow through and try and choke out the other guy.
Yeah.
I don't currently have a very quiet melee weapon.
Dart into the room and wrap your arms around the security operators, and as they feel the air disturb behind them, they pull the triggers on their weapons, firing their silenced SMGs wildly around the room. I'm gonna ask you, Paradigm, to roll a d20. If it's above 10, then that means that they do get an attack off on you, blindly.
Ooh.
Bold of them to take shots when they can't see each other.
Yeah, it is.
Ah, it's a 13. Damn.
13. Okay.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
it goes.
So you manage to wrap your arms around their necks and squeeze, and you feel them losing breath until they each exhale one last time and fall limp in your arms. But as you close in on them, they manage to graze you with their blind fire, and you both take 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Ooh.
Armor says... 4 points for me. Armor knocks off 2.
4.
Yeah, same.
You lower them. Are you choking them unconscious, or are you making sure they're not getting back up?
Kitty defaults to unconscious.
That Paradigm.
That was my initial thought, so yeah, that's probably what he's going
Yeah.
with for the moment.
You lower
We
them
might not be
carefully.
doing them any favors, but you know.
Lower them carefully to the floor. They gasp for breath as soon as they're out of your hands, but they are motionless. They'll be out for at least a few more minutes, and just in time, a loud industrial hum begins to emanate through the walls as the lights in the room flicker and turn back on. The power reboots, and Ghost and Jonathan in the server farm. The server farm's cooling system immediately kicks in, and within seconds, the room is thrust into below freezing temperatures. I'd like the two of you to go ahead and make toughness survival checks for me, please.
Okay, that's 13.
13.
12 for me.
12? Ooh, wow. The DR was 14, but that's okay. It's not going to be a lot
Sorry,
of
that's a 12 on my dice. Was it toughness?
Yep.
That
Yep,
makes it
toughness.
14.
14. Okay, so Ghost, you take 2 points of armorless damage as the cold air seems to freeze your veins, and you'd be forgiven for thinking your blood was frozen solid. Would you like to rejoin the others, or do you want to press on
right.
further south into the power core?
Oh, nah, splitting up's way too stupid. I'll rejoin the group.
Yeah, definitely rejoin.
You reach out your hand, grab Jonathan, and dart through the gap between the 2 server racks in front of you, just as the crawler drone rounds the corner and sees where you would have been a second ago. About a minute later, Kitty and Paradigm, the door to the security office slides open, and Ghost and Jonathan step in. Jonathan's clothes are covered in what look like little tiny icicles that are already melting, drenching him in freezing cold water.
Ah! Is it time for the holiday special already?
If you go in there, you'll find out.
Ah. It's alright. Kitty's busy tying up the guys with paracord. She's already fried their comm links. And Brent goes
Yep.
with the Herf gun.
But now that the power's back on, you can make good use of this security room. It's not really a security office. It's more like a jury-rigged system of monitors and cyber decks, all attached to a sort of central monitoring unit. Maybe Jonathan himself helped the kill team set this up for the temporary purpose of watching to make sure they wouldn't let you sneak into the facility. A task they failed horribly at. You do a quick scan of the monitors, and you find the rest of the kill team, the other 4 members or so, waiting in the maintenance office just off from the main reception, waiting for you to burst through the front doors so they could riddle you with bullets. Aside from that, the only other resistance in the building appears to be the crawler drone in the server farm. Johnson's 2 patrolling flyer drones, which are currently circling the power core, and in what appears to be a disused missile silo that's been converted into a ramshackle hacker fortress, Johnson himself is currently fully immersed into an ice bath in the very center of the silo. All manner of electronic gadgets humming around him. He appears to be fully jacked into the system, completely oblivious of meat space, though he has left 2 more flyer drones to keep watch over him.
Well, I see our target. Ghost. Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put a barrier twixt the kill team in the mains room and Johnson, so they can't comm to each other?
Oh yeah, no, that should be easy.
So when we go for Johnson, we won't get 4 spec ops on our back.
Yeah, I should be able to do that.
I'll also
Aside-
say, Ghost, while you're on that, as you can look, with your knowledge, you would know that, as you can see on the monitor, Johnson's currently jacked in, which means he is in, and you know where he is, which means he is vulnerable to your blood snoot.
Good to know. First I'll put the wall up.
Yeah, alright.
Then I'd like to activate that.
If you want a blood, why don't you wait till we're in position at the door to the missile silo for your blood snoot? That way you can get a pop off, and we'll rush in and we'll
Take
pop
him.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you can pull him out of the network before he can task his flyer drones on you and get this nice and done with, yeah. So, Ghost, the main problem with the kill team's comm equipment, the same problem you ran into last time you tried to hack it, is not so much that the encryption protocols are particularly strong, it's that the communication protocol passes data so quickly that it's hard to intercept it. So I will require an agility technology roll,
Okay.
DR14.
Here we go. Hey, 18 on the die.
18.
Plus 6, so
Oh, yeah.
24.
Ghost simply waves her hand in the air, smiles and blinks, and tells you it's done.
Yeah.
And indeed, it certainly seems to be done, as on the screen, the 4 kill team members in the admin office lower their weapons, look at each other, scratching their heads in confusion as their comm systems have failed. And Paradigm, with your presence, you notice something the others did not. As they're poring over the monitors, you see behind the thick metal desk upon which most of the monitors are set up, somebody has hacked away into the concrete wall, making a makeshift tunnel that leads straight into the missile silo. Presumably so that the kill team would have easy access to where Johnson is if they need to rush and protect him.
Yeah, we're currently in this security office, aren't
Yeah, right in the security office.
Well,
we? Yeah, just point. Yeah, just like as it's like sort of making his way over to it, just like, oh, I think I found an easier way in. Just pointing out the
well.
tunnel.
but that makes sense. I mean, the 2 in here would want to be able to reinforce as fast as possible.
Hmm.
All right, we'll use that to creep up on him.
Yeah.
Kind of him to give us an aid there.
Crouch down and begin to squeeze through the tunnel. It looks as if it was dug relatively quickly, as it twists and turns, and the walls are sharp, and jagged bits of concrete scratch at you as you make your way through, but it most certainly leads where you expect it to, and you drop out of the mouth at the other end and emerge in a tiny maintenance closet adjacent to the missile silo. There's a single rusted metal door in front of you, and beyond that, Johnson awaits.
All right, Ghost, you've got the call. Drop the blood snoot and we'll rush. Unless anyone else has something they want to...
Any other
Fair.
ideas?
Last minute lavatory break, stuff like that.
No?
Nothing. I
Okay,
can really-
well,
Yeah.
on my count.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Ghost, test
Let's do it.
knowledge technology DR12 to activate your blood snoot.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me. That's the fail.
You failed activating your blood snoot. Got any
Do you want
glitches
to?
left?
You want a glitch?
Nah, it's not that important.
Yeah, it's alright.
Just embarrassing.
You don't activate a backlash, but the app doesn't go off. You send the command, and at first it goes through, but well, that was a clever little act Johnson was putting up when he pretended to be just a fanboy who was totally out of his depth. Turns out he's a much better hacker than you thought he was, and you instantly get blasted with the custom-written ice he has that reverses your own blood snoot on you, deals 2 points of damage to you, Ghost, and alerts his flyer drones to your location.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Turns out he's not
Oh,
a
fuck,
fanboy
okay,
after all.
He's gonna know we're onto him, and his drones are coming after me. Fuck.
Well,
Yep.
the second you triggered Blood Snoot, we're moving, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Just as well, Kitty kicks the door down, and the flyer drones are ready. They know you're in that closet, they know you're coming, and as soon as you kick the door open, the little mini guns attached to their polished spherical frames are already spinning. And I'm not going to let you roll initiative. They knew you were coming. I'm just going to let them go first.
There.
Kitty, you're first out the door, so you get to roll defense first.
Sure can. Arr! Well, maybe. Being small a help here.
Nah, it's just a normal roll.
In that case, that's a 10. I get low shot up.
Yep, you get a little shot up. Well, you knew when Ghost gave you the warning that they were expecting you, but these are not the same flyer drones that you can get on the consumer market. These have been upgraded by Johnson personally, and they have a much faster reaction protocol. And as soon as the door is open, they're unloading their cannons, and you take 4 points of damage.
She hugs her jacket tight to herself. And only takes a single point as it stops 3 of it.
Lovely.
Good
The
purchase.
drone is auto-firing, however, and the next one is on Paradigm.
Oh god. Nice. Oh, I'm pretty sure that should succeed. Yeah, total 18.
Yeah. Luckily, as you see Kitty get riddled with gunfire as soon as she kicks open the door, you hang back and take cover in the door frame. And the second drone, also auto-firing, takes fire at Jonathan. Jonathan, go ahead, and don't forget about your bodyguard ability.
I shall not.
Oh yeah, buddy. Well, that's fine. Not that much damage.
Well, you exited the room, and I
That's
forgot
true.
to apply it for Paradigm here.
That brings me to
Anyway.
14.
14. Yeah, and Jonathan, you're fine. You just grab Ghost in one hand, Paradigm in the other, and pull them back as you return fire on the drones. And Jonathan, you're up first.
Alright, well, it's auto fire time. At the first drone. Which is 12 on the dot.
Yeah. But the flyer drones are quick and janky, and it requires DR14 to hit them. So just as you've
no
got
deal.
it locked into your sight, you pull the trigger, and the drone swerves out of the way. Kitty, you're up.
Well, they're in the air, eh?
Yep. They're quick and janky, DR14 to hit them.
Well, are they using, like, propellers?
Yeah, they've each got... So basically, the drones are fears. with guns attached, and on both sides of the sphere, like two little wings, there's two little hover pads with propellers that levitate them.
All right. I'll try to fire my grappling hook arm into one of the props to foul it and bring it down.
You stole my idea.
Well, it's still DR14 to hit it now,
Pirate!
but if you succeed, you will make it easier to hit.
This is true.
And this is a melee thing. Is this glitch? I've got plenty of glitches left. I'll glitch, see if the dice are kinder. On the second go round, much. That is an 18.
Ooh, yeah, that's definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
Ah, well, it's a grappling hook arm shot. But I guess
yeah,
we could
yeah.
roll strangler cord damage.
Yeah, roll your strangle cord damage, because there will be
Yeah.
some damage to it because you're pulling it down to the ground. So
4 points.
or you pull it as hard as you can, yanking it, and the metallic drone whirs as it tries to pull away. And then there's a big clang and a scrape as you pull it down, and it smashes into the concrete. And now, Ghost, it's your turn. You want to try to do the same thing for the other drone?
I was planning on just getting a little bit of me tangled up in its
Yeah.
blades, or
Yeah,
rather
for everyone. The propellers.
the rod that holds them. Words are escaping me. Yeah, I'm gonna try for that.
Yeah, so you're gonna... To taking Kitty's example, close your eyes, smile, and your right arm detaches from your body, and the darter swirls in the air, reforming into a little grappling hook, identical to Kitty's. Go ahead, roll to fling it at the drone and pull it down.
What would the roll be?
It would be... let's go an agility athletics.
Lovely. That's not acrobatics.
Suppose you acrobatics, because I suppose you are the grappling hook, so yeah, you can do acrobatics.
17.
17, yeah. You bury your darter inside its propeller and thunk, pull it down next to the other one, and the two flyer drones are... Well, they're not crawler drones, they're just not flying. Do you call a flyer walk when you pull its wings off? And you may roll a d4 to see how much damage you deal as you slam it into the concrete.
That is 3.
3, nice. Nice bit of damage. And now, for Paradigm, who goes last, they are both easier to hit. You can just hit them normally, no longer DR14.
And they're within melee range if you
Yeah,
prefer
they're
to
within
chainsaw.
melee
Your
range,
call.
yeah.
Well, they're both drones, so I was going to attempt the slightly easier option.
Oh, gotcha.
Delete them.
Yeah,
Delete
I'm just
one.
gonna try and delete them. Delete one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, go ahead,
Big on.
roll. They're small enough that you'll only need one check.
Delete it.
Is that a Homestar Running joke?
Maybe.
Thanks.
Oh no. That's a
That's
1 on the die.
Oh. Do you want to spend a glitch to not be a critical fail?
Yeah, because you'll trigger your infestation if you don't stop the fumble.
So, yeah, I'm gonna have to glitch to at least remove the thumble, because the one linked to that is a pretty bad one for where we are.
Yes. Hold out your hands, pointing them at the drone, expecting it to disappear. Instead, you feel the nanos whir within your body and delete a chunk of your own kidney.
Oh god.
You got 2, it's fine.
Is it? It's like a D2 on damage on fail, isn't it?
Yeah, D2 damage. It is now the enemy's turn. One of the grounded flyers whirs as it pulls itself closer to the party, and then you hear a loud thump as a compartment opens on the front of the sphere, and a heavy grenade is flung into your midst. Roll to see who it hits. Ooh, that's going to be Paradigm and Jonathan getting hit by the heavy grenade.
Dyson.
And that's going to be 11 points of damage to both Jonathan and Paradigm. Boom!
Oh, do I get to roll armor for that, or?
You do, of course, yes. You do get to roll armor for a grenade.
Jesus.
So it was 11 total, wasn't it?
Yep. Minus whatever your armor is.
Yeah, it brings that to 7 for me.
Drops it to 7, which is unfortunately one more than I had.
Ooh.
Oh no.
So I am blown to bits.
Wait, hang on. Do you have any glitches left?
No, I'm completely out.
Can Kitty toss you a glitch?
Kitty can toss a glitch to prevent Paradigm from dying, and instead roll on the table of what happens when you fall to 0 HP.
Well, no, you can spend a glitch to reduce incoming damage by D6.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do that?
Yeah, Kitty will scream and twist the cord so that it catches a grenade, knocks it just off course. And yeah, Paradigm, you can reduce things by a D6.
Yeah, this will keep Paradigm up.
Reduced by 4, so I only lose 3 now.
Lovely.
Oh, thank God.
That'll keep you alive.
Yes.
Just as the second flyer drone ejects its onboard heavy grenade. This time, only one of you's getting hit, and it is Jonathan.
Can I roll to dodge?
Well, you don't roll to dodge grenades, they just roll to see if they hit you. But it's okay, Jonathan, you're only taking 6 points of damage. Minus your armor.
6 minus... Oh, okay.
As boom, the second heavy grenade lands at your feet, and you push the others out of the way as it explodes, raining shrapnel into your torso. And finally, Johnson gets his turn. Still jacked in, his body's motionless in the ice bar, and yet he's flowing freely through cyberspace around you. I would like Kitty to make a Knowledge Technology DR12 roll to defend.
So, fun fact. Knowledge is actually Kitty's best stat.
Well, this should be good then.
15.
15. Nice. You feel your RED beginning to heat up as he tries to overload your sensory systems, but somehow isn't able to pass through as the blue crystal nanites within your body form a protective casing around your consciousness. Alright. Jonathan, you're up.
They throw grenades at him, he throws grenades back.
Yeah, alright, roll a D.
Getting pin-pulled and
thrown out at them. Go ahead, roll a D3 to see how many of them you hit.
I don't have a D3, so I'll roll one of those.
Or a D6.
I do have one of those. That's two targets hit.
2. So do you want to hit the 2 flyers or one of the flyers and Johnson?
Let's go with the 2 flyers because grenades deal extra damage. Like I think it's double damage or extra damage to mechanical enemies.
Yeah, so roll a D6 and double it.
That is a 6, so that's 12.
12.
Nice.
Well, flyer drones have 8 HP, so boom! Held in place by Ghost and Kitty, the grenade lands right in between the two of them, and bang! Down they go, reduced into cinders in a second. You hear Johnson gasp from the ice bath. He sits bolt upright as he's dumped out of cyberspace, bleeding profusely from the nose.
Ugh.
With his right hand, he reaches for a firearm on a bench next to him, and then his eyes roll into the back of his head, and he clasps the hand to his chest. Lethal dump shock. He's going into cardiac arrest.
Kitty looks at Jonathan. We need him for questioning, don't we?
Do we
You
really?
just need the data he has.
Hmm.
But the collective could maybe get him to reveal things that aren't contained within the data. He is an inside man in Alliansen.
Alright, we don't have much time. How would we get him out? If you want me to save him, how would we get him out? Front door?
Front
Throw him
door.
up through the vent?
Vent. We can just we can just go back to the control room and bounce and shut the vents off and take him out that way.
You'll be
There's still
clumsy.
lingering
but
toxic
doable.
fumes in there.
Yeah,
If you
but
go
Oh,
through that
wash it
respirators.
first.
Meh.
You really want me to save him?
Kitty looks over and never mind. Moot point no.
He coughs and splutters one more time as he feebly reaches for the cord that's wedged into his neck, trying to pull it out so he can jack out of the system. And then he falls limp, his body splashing forwards in the ice bath. He is dead.
Honestly, he weren't much of a nemesis. I mean, we met him for all of one episode.
I know this is going to be a crazy idea, but I don't suppose he's still jacked in. I don't suppose you could try and download his brain before it fully shuts down.
You could try. Wouldn't have to question him that way. We just pass through the data.
Ghost, is that something you can do? Or?
I can try.
Yeah.
I was gonna go for it. What do we got to
He
lose?
talks twice.
Yeah.
Ghost flickers and disappears, and the cloud of data zoom towards Johnson's now brain-dead body, merging with the electronics and cords around him, pumping herself into his brain. This is your one chance to do this, Ghost.
Oh, it is
Need
nasty in
make-
here.
Yeah. You need to act fast. Agility, technology, DR16.
19 on the die, so 25.
Ooh,
Nice.
I'll throw in a bonus. You watch as Ghost gets to work. It's a ghastly sight. Johnson opens his eyes and sits bolt upright in the ice bath, and like some sort of zombie, his dead body stiffly moves, pulling the cables one by one out of his body. And when the last one's out, he opens his mouth and screams one last time before he slumps forwards again, and Ghost reforms next to you. And as she reforms, snippets of data from Johnson's brain float in the air, in transit between his brain and Ghost's consciousness. For a split second, somehow, you can pass it. Everyone who's watching, go ahead, make a presence technology check.
Myself included?
Not you, Ghost. You're going to get it automatically.
Oh.
That is 12 on the dot.
Presence technology.
17 total.
So that's a group pass.
6.
Strange. 6. That's alright. 17 cancels out yours. Strange glyphs float in the air in front of you, warping, shifting, changing. Letters becoming numbers, becoming letters, becoming symbols. For a split second, you're able to see what it is before Ghost holds out her arms and pulls it into her body. It's a list of names. An Alliansen kill list. You see Paradigm's face, smiling, flicker in the air. Damien Reyes. Jonathan, scowling, trying to get his trauma team uniform straighten up on the first day of the job. Jonathan Albury. Ghost, or at least you think it's Ghost. Looks vaguely like how you see Ghost, but not quite. Maybe the eyes are the same. Maybe the hair colour is similar. Maybe the jawline vaguely brings them to mind.
Tis the rest in bitch face.
Rest in bitch face. Lena Lundgren. And then finally, before it all fades away, an image of Kitty. Not Kitty as you know her. This is Kitty in the crow's nest of a pirate ship, spyglass held up to her face, hand in the air as she calls out, "Land ho!" A promotional still from her old series. Alliansen first generation Centobot. Recall in action. Recall to get bounty and kill order issued for the lead designer of the Centobot project. A name flickers in front of your eyes and then disappears. Dr. Erasmus Tate.
What?
You're a
This
Dr.
body
Kitty?
has a daddy?
The
Oh,
last
they're going
remnants
after Tate. That's a problem.
the last remnants of data flicker, disperse into zeros and ones, and disappear. And Ghost, an extra bonus just for you. Something that you found in Johnson's brain that you're not exactly going to show to everyone else. A data cache. What we in the early 21st century would call a folder. It's named My Idol and is filled with hundreds upon hundreds of images of Ghost. Her cyberspace avatars, posts she's made on forums dating back years from the very start of her career, and the source code to an app that she thought she'd lost. The source code to an app that she started to write but was unable to complete, and it seems in an act of crazy, unrequited love, Johnson finished it for her.
Creepy.
It is defense/der. Take control of a nearby turret, drone, or similar defense system for D6 rounds.
Nice.
And so, with that, I think we'll conclude the session. It's quite easy to exfiltrate the same way you infiltrated. And less than an hour later, you're once again sitting in the stolen taxi, bandaging your wounds, checking over your equipment, repairing the damage you sustained, and Vera Coiling's broadly grinning face smiles on your REDs. Holy shit! You did it!
Apparently we did.
You broke
Did you not
into
expect this to?
You broke into an Alliansen data crypt, got out alive, took out one of their agents, and put a back door granting my collective access to one of their most secretive server farms. And as of right now, she snaps her finger, all evidence of your involvement and that of my collective has been scrubbed. According to Alliansen, we never existed. All kill orders are suspended, and you're free to show yourselves in public again. And Ghost, source code for Mindweave? Seriously? You've managed to find that? I've been trying to get that for 15 years now. It's the holy grail of the hacking community. You have no idea the ramifications this has on site. Alliansen is gonna need to rewrite their whole algorithm. Their network's gonna be down for like a week.
That's a lot of money.
Sure is. I'm sending some your way, straight out of the collective's pockets, with my appreciation. And she deposits instantly into each of your accounts 1,500 creds. Free to put towards your debt or to spend on anything else you like. So, says Vera, frowning, peering down at her cyber deck. I asked for the chip that he took from Jinghai Sloan, but you gave me the guy's whole brain, so not only are we going to find out what's going on with Project New Gods, but any insider info he's got on Alliansen, any information about their facilities or security arrangements, it's going to make taking down this thing so much easier. So, she claps her hands. I see you there, crowded around in Jonathan's taxi, and you've just been through a lot. You want to get yourself a nice bowl of noodles, head home, have a shower, and relax. But I need to know, this is the point of no return. When we crack Project New Gods, I need you to be able to go straight away. Are you in?
I'll see this voyage through to the end.
She nods. If you do this, you'll be set for life. The collective is willing to pay all outstanding debts. Hey.
Well then.
It's gonna take me about a day to crack this stuff, so you got some time to think, but I expect you to be there when I call you. She winks. Oh, Kitty. Captain
Aye.
Kitty. You've seemed a little bit pensive this whole time. That data we got from Johnson, you had no idea about Doc Tate, did you?
Not the slightest. Not a bit. It raises more questions than it does answers. I think I'd be needing to have a talk with Tate soon.
No time better than now, she says. She winks, waves, and then disappears from your feed. Seconds later, Doc Tate looks up from his desk, his weathered face staring into your eyes. He brushes a lock of grey hair out of his face and sighs, as if he knows why you've called him. An Alliansen data crypt. It's all over the hacker feeds. When I hired you for that simple job of getting me a clinic, I had no idea you'd go this far. Just remember, I was there when you started out. Don't forget about old Doc Tate, you hear?
Oh, it's funny you say you were there when I started out, Doc. Because it's come to my attention that you were one of the head designers of this here body I'm gallivanting around in.
He nods. Guilty as charged. I never quite told you what I did back when I worked for ACGS and Alliansen and TG Labs, did I?
No.
Bounced between all three of those corps, most recently with Alliansen. TG Labs taught me everything there is to know about cybertech. ACGS taught me everything there is to know about artificial intelligence. So when I came to Alliansen, with my impeccable credentials, they made me head of artificial intelligence research. See, when Doggy Bag went under, when the show was cancelled, they told me all assets had been liquidated, shoved me over to the next project. But then, I started to hear rumours. Rumours about a new mercenary making her name in the underbelly of Psy. An animatronic cat talking with an affected pirate accent. Well, I reached out to Ivan and I told him, if she's out there, you find her. The secret's out. I didn't think, as punks, you were any great shakes better than anyone else back then, but I wanted Kitty. I wanted my creation close to hand. I wanted to make sure that all the technology I put into you was being used for the good of this bloody city, and not just to advance Alliansen's schemes. So I had Ivan hook you up with that job. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, I'll be damned.
I suppose, he frowns. You've been good to me. You've never double-crossed me. You've always tried to do your best, even when you had to stick your necks out for it. So I suppose I should tell you what project I was working on when I left Alliansen. I bet by now you know enough that you can hazard a guess. The middle-aged man sighs as decades worth of troubling memories wash over him. It's reflected in his eyes. Come on, he says, urging you on. Project.
It rhymes with mold pods, doesn't it?
Project Old Gods. Yeah. And, well, not rightly much I know about it, to be honest. Left pretty early on. Just couldn't sit by while they were doing the things they were doing. Everything you've seen so far, the doctored vert, the experiments being done on the homeless population. The stated goal of the project was to allow the collective consciousness of humanity to ascend and make contact with something beyond. So you've got your vert, group hallucinations. You've got all those experiments they were conducting on people, chopping them up, rattling around in their brains. They're doing something with people's heads, something in the mind. And that's all I know. But I got a bad feeling. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's noticed that things are getting worse in this city by the day. Mind worms infecting the web, ammo prices skyrocketing. Everywhere you go, people are paranoid. There's this sense that it's all breaking down. And Project Old Gods has got something to do with it. And if my life's work, my brainchild, my creation, he gestures at you, Kitty, can be instrumental in putting a stop to it, well, I'll feel as if I've redeemed myself. And with that, we end this session. You all recover your glitches, recover to your health back to full HP for the start of next session.
Ooh.
You have 1,500 creds to spend as you wish. And now you're just biding time, waiting for the last job, the biggest job of your career, the one that will have you set for life. You're waiting for the Coilings Collective to crack Project Old Gods. Find out where it is, find out what it is, find out how you can bring it down. Good on you, punks. Jonathan, go ahead, roll a d6 for me.
That's 5.
5. No miserable headline. The simulation appears, somehow, to be stable. The prices of ammo return to normal as the momentary crisis subsides, and Psy continues on, only with the subtle, unshakable sense that things are about to go terribly wrong. And it's all your fault, punks.